Hello mga kudoks! How are you? So today is my day off and I thought of making this video just to have a quick recap on how I became a doctor here in the UK. So I hope you were following my previous videos and you've subscribed to this channel because you will learn a lot on how to become a doctor here in the UK, or if you're just curious on a life of a foreign doctor coming here in the UK, might as well subscribe on my channel. So I'm making this video since I'm a bit sentimental, I guess, since it's my third month here in the UK working as a doctor, and it's almost the end of the winter season. As you can see, the weather is nice, so it's just 12 more days before the official end of winter. So it's slowly warming up. It's already 12 degrees Celsius, and I'm happy that I survived 3 months at work, working as a doctor here in the UK. So I thought of making this video just to give a quick summary on how I worked as a doctor here in the UK. So as any foreign graduate who came from a non-English speaking country as their first language, so the first step that you will need to work as a doctor here in the UK is to take an English test. So an English test could be OET or IELTS. OET stands for Official Occupational English Test. So if you've seen my previous video, that is the English test that I took as a first step requirement to work here as a doctor in the UK. So you need at least a score of B on your OET on all subtests, meaning on your listening, writing, reading, and speaking. So you need at least a score of B on all of those subtests for you to move on your next exam to be registered. So I don't know the cut-off score for IELTS, but for OET you need a score of B on all subtests. So I also have a video regarding which is easier and better on my opinion. So I compared OET versus IELTS, so I'll put a link above or below on that video that I made before on comparing OET versus IELTS. So how did I pass my occupational English test? So I reviewed for 2 months. Actually, when I was still in the Philippines, I enrolled on a review center called ACE Review Center. So actually you can study on your own. There's plenty of materials online, but I decided to enroll in a review center so that someone will evaluate my speaking, someone will correct my writing, and at least I will have materials for the listening and reading, and at least I'm forced to go to the review center and study there. So it helped, although you should not rely solely on the review center. You should still study on your own, on your free time, of course. And yeah, I think 1 to 2 months of studying the OET would be enough, but it still depends on the person, on his background on English test or in English as a whole. So it really depends, but for me it took me almost 2 months of studying for my OET, which is, I guess, is pretty enough already. Once you're done with your OET, which I did, when I passed my OET, the next thing that I did is to take my PLAB 1. So PLAB 1 seats is quite challenging, guys, because the seats are limited. Although there's a lot of testing sites all over the country, getting a seat, your desired seat or desired date, is quite challenging because there's a lot of people booking the exam. That was on my time 2 years ago. So for my PLAB 1, I took my PLAB 1 here in the UK. So you have a lot of locations. You can take it in Australia, you can take it in India, in Pakistan. I even know someone who took the PLAB 1 in Bangladesh, so which is quite far from the Philippines. So basically you will see it on their website, on the GMC website, on all the sites for the PLAB 1. So what material did I use for my PLAB 1? To be honest, I only used one source for my PLAB 1 exam. So I've also made some videos on how I studied for my PLAB 1, so you could take a look at it. I will put a link below as well on how I studied for my PLAB 1 exam. So I only used one source for my PLAB 1 exam, which is the Plabable app. So you will you will get this Plabable app on their website. You just need to type Plabable on your search button on Google, and you will go to their website, and basically you just need to purchase the app there. So the name of the app is Plabable. So in Plabable, so the Plabable app is already enough. So you will get a lot of multiple choice questions there, and at the end of the multiple choice questions there will be text below on the explanations, on the explanation of the answer and the rationale why that one is the answer. And apart from that, the Plabable team would also conduct like a intensive or comprehensive review at the end. So it's really a nice app for PLAB 1, and it's already enough. So as long as you at least revise the Plabable at least twice, you will surely pass the Plabable, the PLAB 1 exam. So at the end of your review of Plabable, you also need to do a lot of mock tests. So it could be the big mock, or it could be the mock that's free on your Plabable app. So that's already enough, guys, for you to pass the PLAB 1. I mean, that's for my opinion. That's just my opinion. So because that's the only thing that I did in order to pass my PLAB 1. So I didn't complicate myself on studying other things. So I just settled for Plabable, and it's already enough. The next one is PLAB 2, guys. So I can say PLAB 2 is the most challenging among the 3 exams. So as you know, we need English test, we need PLAB 1, which is the written exam. So I forgot how many items is the PLAB 1 exam, or the multiple choice question, or the written exam, but I will send the link of my video before, but for sure it's not that many. So PLAB 1 is written. PLAB 2 is an OSCE type exam, or an oral type of exam. So I can say that this is the hardest among the 3 exams that you would face when you decide to choose the PLAB pathway to be registered as a doctor here in the UK. I can say that it is challenging because it's hard to study on your own with PLAB 2, although there are some materials that you could read coming from review centers or from the academy. So for the PLAB 2 exam, it's really critical, and it's really important that you have a practice partner, not just read the study material. So you really need to apply what you have read. So that's why PLAB 2, in the PLAB 2 exam, it's really essential that you have like a review mate, or someone that you could practice with, because once you join an academy, you will meet a lot of foreign doctors taking the PLAB 2 exam. So in my case, when I enrolled in an academy, I was on the accommodation of the academy. So I met a lot of foreign doctors who are able to practice or simulate all the cases, so which is really nice, because at least you have someone to practice with. So that is how I studied for my PLAB 2 exam. So I studied, I guess, for 3 to 4 months. So my advice for you, if you will take the PLAB 2 exam, you need to finish all the notes as much as possible, and you need to practice with a partner, with a practice partner, so that by the time that you will take your exam, it will not be hard for you. It will be easy for sure. So PLAB 2 is very doable as long as you practice, practice, and practice. So the next hurdle will be your GMC registration. So you need to have your epic you need to finish your epic, and you need to gather all your materials. Basically you just need to follow everything that was instructed to you on how you do your GMC registration. As long as you're able to supply the necessary documents, it will not be GMC registration would not be hard for sure. So guys, I'll continue my talk here at home. So after you're done with your GMC registration and your EPIC verification, so basically you're already GMC registered. So once you're GMC registered, you need to find a job. Okay, so how do you look for a job? So there's a lot of things that you could do. So you could look at track jobs. You could also see jobs in Indeed, and also in NHS Beta or the NHS Trust itself. So those are the 4 sites that you could take a look once you're doing your job hunting. So you need to tailor your CV basing on the essential and the desirable criteria that you are applying to. So don't just send your CV without editing it, tailoring it with the job that you're applying to, because it will be a waste of time. So make sure that every time you send a job application or your CV, make sure that you are eligible for the essential and the desirable criteria, and you need to edit it or tailor fit it depending on the job that you're applying to. And once you get a rejection from the job, make sure you learn from it and you pause and you think about what could you do much better on your next job application. So of course, expect that there will be plenty of job application until you can land your first job as a doctor here in the UK. So basically, if you're still in your home country, you could do a lot of things. So I've also made a video about that before. So I will also put a link below regarding on how to enhance your CV while you're still in your home country. So once you land your first job here in the UK, so basically you need to wait for the HR to process all your papers and your COS or your certificate of sponsorship. You need to process your visa and all of those things, and you will book your ticket. You will arrive here in the UK. You need to find an accommodation. So basically you need to you can find an accommodation before you come here through a lot of websites or applications such as Zoopla, Rightmove, and those things. So once you arrive here in the UK and before you start your first job, make sure you've got an indemnity cover or an insurance so that if there will be lawsuits or problems along the way, you are protected with your indemnity. So in short, once you arrive here, like anyone else, you will be adjusting on your job. You will meet a lot of challenges. You will be in a new healthcare system. You will be on a new culture. You will be meeting new friends. You will have a lot of seniors. You will meet a lot of co-doctors as well, foreign and British colleagues. So it will be a hurdle from your first job on your first day of working as a doctor. It will be challenging. It will be um, tough for sure, but I know that you can do it, and you've come a long way. You've already secured this job, and just do your best, and for sure you can do it. I myself, I'm still struggling until now. I'm making sure that I improve every single day. So thank you for watching this vlog, mga kudoks, and see you here in the UK.